Hello everyone, today I'll be reading UGC's draft regulation has serious constitutional issues. So the draft resolution by the University Grants Commission UGC on the selection and appointment of vice chancellor of universities has been evoked protest by non-Bharatiya Janata Party headed state governments. The main objection against this regulation is that it constitutes a violation of the federal principles enshrined in the Constitution of India. The state government concerned have demands have demanded its withdrawal. The UGC had sought to amend Regulation 2010 that relates to the selection and appointment of vice chancellors by widening the area of selection. Under the existing regulation, a vice chancellor can be selected only from among academicians who have minimum experience of 10 years as professors. Through this amendment, the UGC declares the professional with 10 plus years of experience in industry, public administration, or public policy shall also be considered. The draft regulations arises serious constitutional issues which need to be examined by separating the political context of protest and possible political reaction from the UGC or the party in power. The objective of the UGC Act, University Grant Commission Act 1956, was enacted by the Parliament to make provisions for the coordination and the determination of standards in university, and for that purpose to establish the University Grants Commission. The Act therefore mandates the UGC to take all steps as it thinks fit to promotion and the coordination of university education and for the determination of maintenance of standards of teaching, examination, and research in universities. For performing these functions, the UGC can allocate funds to universities essentially for maintenance and development of universities, recommend measures necessary for improvement of university education, advise the union or the state governments on the allocation of grants to universities for any general or specific purpose, collect information on all matters relating to university education in India and other countries, and make them available to any university, regulation of fees, etc. The Section 26 of the UGC Grant uh, com- uh, Commission Act empowers the UGC to make regulation for implementing the mandate of the Act, but it is made clear in this section that these regulations need to be consistent with the Act and the rules made thereunder. The most important among these regulations relate to defining the qualification required for a person to be appointed as the teaching staff in a university, the minimum standard of instruction for the grant of any degree by the university, and regulating the maintenance of standards and coordination of work or facilities in the universities. It is not the job of UGC. The crucial point that needs to be considered here is whether the regulation made by the UGC in respect to the selection, qualification, and appointment of vice chancellor is consistent with the provision of the UGC Act. As a matter of fact, the Act does not contain any provision relating to the selection and appointment of vice chancellor. The fundamental objective of the Act is to determine standards in the universities and the promotion and the coordination of university education, to lay down the standards of teaching and to prescribe the qualification of teaching staff, whose job is to give instruction, is the main function of the UGC, which it does not by making periodic regulations. But the problem arises when the statutory body begins to regulate an area which is not part of the parent act. Rules and regulation are technically called subordinate legislation. The subordinate legislation can be made only in consonance with the provisions in the act. If the regulation goes outside the scope of the act, it will be ultra vires the act,